I think, we've 2 out of 3 goals are soft goals, but we've delivered a performance, particularly coming away here. I think we've definitely taken the game on, so I think you could have got something from the game, but we know even with a good performance, you can't give away 2 out of 3, maybe 1.5. The breakaway goal, you've got to give them credit as well. But the final goal's a possible marginal offside, but we certainly won't we'll go on to that in a minute, the decisions. We certainly didn't get a lot today. Oh, he was going to carry on talking about the game then, but okay. Where do you want to start? Should we start in the 61 games without a penalty? Should we start there? And a clear double-handed push in the back on Kevin Long. That's a pretty good start, I think. Ashley Barnes getting booked when their player clearly threw an elbow out at him, which I've seen back, by the way. An unnatural arm movement towards the face. Somehow Ashley Barnes came out of that and got booked. 2 dives. No one seems to want to do anything about the diving in the game apart from me. I'm still amazed by it. One of which, well, they don't get booked, and we know that nothing will happen retrospectively, we know that. And therefore, if they were booked, one of their players would have definitely gone off the pitch. Numerous other things. Even at the end, Vids goes through with, I think it was Xhaka, touches him on his shoulder marginally, and he goes down and gets a free kick. I'm just centre halves now going down with hardly anything. Incredible. But no one seems to want to do anything about it, so I'll leave it there because no one wants to affect the diving. I think they had 3 the other week, and it just goes away, and everyone just goes, oh well, kids everywhere watching it, all copying, but no one seems to care about it.
Sorry, Sean, for the people who are not used to seeing you on week-to-week basis, it's some sort of campaign.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's purely factual. Factual as you see it. Yeah. Facts. Nothing to do with campaigns. Yeah. If it was a campaign, I'd be out there every week.
What would you like to see, Bill?
Just people banned, because it'd evaporate out of the game, because there's children, millions of children. I've said many times, you wouldn't ruffle your kids' hair when they come back from school if they're cheated in a maths test. They're cheating a game of football and it's okay. And it's almost like, well done. Oh, got away with that one. How does that work? There's hundreds of millions of pounds at stake in this game, and we've got all kinds of gadgets and everything to view these things, and hopefully VAR will make a difference. I don't think it'll make a radical difference because we're on about it only in the box, and we know it goes on everywhere else. No one wants to do anything. I'm talking about the morality of the game. I'm absolutely amazed where it's at the moment, but no one really bothered with it. No, I'm not saying anything too grandiose. I'm just saying I'm amazed that more people don't look at it factually and just go, do we really want to see that? Can't we just get on with playing? And then alarmingly, we were questioning recently about some tackles. It's quite refreshing to see someone tackle someone, I think. But no one seems to want to do anything about it. 2 blatant ones today. Nothing done by the ref. Nothing will be done retrospectively. No, I think it was 3 then. I think it was Ozil, wasn't it? I don't know. I might have got that wrong. No point. They got no power, I don't think. I think it's a bigger picture than that, or they don't seem to have. Oh, they know my. I'm not exactly shy on my feelings on this. And I think it's really important, by the way, because you rightly pointed out, some people haven't heard me speak about this before, not many I doubt, but there are some. I will remind you all, we're not talking about gamesmanship. That's a whole different ball. That's been there for ever since I played, and that was a long time ago. You clip a centre forward in the box, he goes down. End of story. We're not talking about that. We're talking about blatant diving. People had no contact at all, people going over.
So if things are to change, where's the impetus got to come from?
The powers that be. I think they've all got to get their heads together. I think the FA, I think the Premier League, I think the PGMOL. They've all got to get their heads together and go, hang on a minute, it's gone too far. I was mentioning to the radios actually, when you think back in virtually all of our lifetimes, when I think the first 2, when it was absolutely alarming in the view of the public, were, don't get me wrong, fantastic players, so let's clear up, Drogba and Klinsmann. When they came over and they were diving, it was on Match of the Day every week. Oh, we can't have this. Fans go uproar everywhere. And they're 2 amazing players, that needs to be said. And they slowly morphed into our culture here. Now it's every week. No one hardly mentions it. And if it does get mentioned, it's just a little side. Oh, we don't want to see that, do we? Oh, well, let's move on to the next clips. I find this incredible. In what sense?
When you say the Premier League, the FA, surely...
Well, I'm the only manager who talks about it, so let's take it out of the manager's hands, because I'm the only manager that talks about it.
What would you do if one of your players died?
I can't think of one that's blatant, and I can't think of one that's in a key moment or any of that. I'm sure there'll be one somewhere. I'm sure you could find out if one of our players has died. But there's a difference. Remind yourself, though, you've got to look closely. Because we're talking about gamesmanship. That's a whole different thing. Someone pushes you in the back, you go, well, ironically, Kevin Long got 2 hands in the back today, didn't get a penalty. But if someone pushes you and you go down, that's a penalty. I'll tell you what is alarming. I mentioned this twice, and I forgot to mention it last week because I always try and be fair. We got beat by West Ham, and I mentioned afterwards that, young player, I can't think of his name, he's wide player. He came in, definite penalty, not given because he went down naturally. No falling around, no rolling around, and it wasn't given. Same happened last week. Harry Kane, definite penalty, went down naturally, no penalty. And yet people are getting a marginal touch, flinging themselves, rolling around, which we all know it's impossible if I touch your shoulder that your feet go under you. And yet, it's impossible, and yet they get given.
Was Unai Emery upset about diving when he spoke to you afterwards?
Yeah. No, of course it wasn't. And why would it? It was his players, not mine.
He seemed a bit angry, didn't he?
No, he just said, you were questioning the referee. I said, yep, you're absolutely right, I was. I said, all the best, have a good Christmas. It's a fair one. It's the right answer. Because I was upset with the referee today. Because I think these are clear things. They weren't affected.
What did Granit Xhaka say to you? You seem to be having a bit of an argument with him.
Oh, no, that wasn't me. I can't remember the last time I had an argument with a player, even when I used to play. That wasn't me. Might have been one of my staff. That wasn't me. Seriously, I didn't used to argue with players. I used to just get on with it. 61 games without a penalty. If I was allowed to bet, which I'm clearly not, just make that one clear. Incredible. I don't know how you get that stat. In any game that has some version of a penalty, 61 games. 61 Premier League games. And we've had another one today, not given. And I bet you any money we get one when we're like 4-0 down or 4-0 up, which is not so easy. So, no, not at all. No, I don't. I can't remember a bad tackle in the game. Only someone slinging an elbow, but that was even off the pitch. And a tumble around the floor. I can't remember a bad tackle in the game. I think the game's in a great shape for the physical side, but these players are incredibly strong now, incredibly quick, fit, balance is unbelievable. That's actually the ultimate point. Why do you need to dive around? They're so good. They're so technically good and skilled. I don't get that. It's not a margin that's acceptable. That's the point.
You said you didn't see a bad tackle. I think there was a moment when Matteo Guendouzi felt that Ashley Barnes had inadvertently or not stamped on him. Did you see that moment?
If he did, I haven't seen it. I mean that sincerely. I'm not doing that thing that some people do. I've tried to look back. Obviously, I've only got so much time as to get fined. And at Burnley, we don't take fines well, mate. Don't worry about that. So I had to get in there as quick as possible. I've seen the ones that I felt were key incidents, key game-changing moments.
I suppose critics would say that, that diving is also a problem, but that maybe some Arsenal players felt that your team were quite physical with them as well.
Where do you want the game to go, though? If there's no bad tackles really in the game and there's no key incidents. The other thing is, it's funny how we get this physical tag. If you look down our records, if you look every year, we're pretty high up in the fair play, You look at our suspensions, you look at our red cards, you look at our yellow cards, not that high. And some of them, if you then analyse them, you'll see people getting yellow cards for people diving. Blatantly for people diving, and our players have got yellow cards. So if you took them away, it would be even lower. All I'm asking for the game to be played. Here's one for you, right? So this will sum it up while I'm on a roll. So a few years ago, they started bringing in the grass has to be cut at 30 mil. Does anyone know that? The grass has to be cut at 30 mil. Every pitch now has to be UEFA standard size, which we all know now obviously plays into the hands of, for one, the more technical teams, and for two, the teams are every year in some form of European standard event, which we have been this year, but every year. So we've had to change our pitch and cut it shorter, okay? Apparently lately we're not allowed to tackle either. We've got nowhere near the finance of the other teams. We've got nowhere near the wage finance of the other teams, right? And we don't dive. That ain't a good start, is it? So if you look at that, we're told them things. So even advantages that used to be sort of real advantages have now been replaced. We can't use any of that. And do you know what they actually say? Because they want a level playing field. Ridiculous. Yeah.
Have you ever thought, did it ever cross your mind if you can't beat them, join them?
No, it's not for me, that. But important, I remind you, because I have to, because people misquote me on this all the time. We're not about gamesmanship. If one of my players is clever and they get tapped and they go down, that's a whole different thing. I wouldn't go against that. I never have done. That's a different thing. We're on about blatant. We're on about no touch. We're on about no contact. We're on about phantom touches and people just jumping up in the air and going over. Or people, I don't like the one when they touch them on the arm and their feet go. I've never seen that. I used to play football in the playground and someone hit me on the arm. Trust me, I was going to go through and try and score a goal, not dive on the floor. So I don't like that one, but other than that, no. It's a clear distinction. I'm on about the absolute cheating, dives. Oh, it's incredibly, season on season.
Can you clarify the 2 moments you're talking about with actually playing the dice, what they were?
No, because I don't think that's fair, because it's a bigger issue. I'm not talking about individuals, because like I said, I was misquoted about an individual a couple of weeks ago. That's not the case. It's about the whole game. It's not about one person. It's about the whole game needs to have a look at itself. Everyone saw the World Cup, right? What do you think of that? Oh, no response. Well, I thought it was incredibly bad in the World Cup. The amount of diving, cheating, feigning injuries, all of that sort of stuff. Incredibly bad. My point is this. I'm a father. I've got a child who plays football. And I see it, by the way, children copying professional or diving all over the place. That cannot be right, whatever way you look at it. Well, that's probably the problem.
A few of the lads were as well, but we sort of become sort of immune to it, really. It's like, punching somebody.
Well, maybe that needs addressing. Because the irony is, we ask for respect, massive campaigns. The FA and the Premier League put tens of millions of pounds into respecting grassroots football. Take away cheating, trust me, the respect will go through the roof. Because if you take that away, less families getting involved, less mums and dads getting involved, because that's one thing out the game. They don't have to worry about that. So you can save yourself tens of millions and put it into something else. Just stop it. But no one wants to do it. No, unfortunately, good. Back to football. Thanks, Chris. 2 wide men went down yesterday morning. They were fine. Well, we thought they were going to be fine. And with the amount of games just over this little period, we just couldn't risk them. And that led to a change of shape. But the change of shape worked. So I'm not, as it happens, we've still delivered a performance. There's no excuse in that. It's just unfortunate that every time we get just about to fitness, then we get injuries. The good thing is, young Dwight and Ali Koiki get a look at what it's all about today, in-house, in the dressing room, out on the pitch, so they get a good experience today. Sorry? I think so. That was the idea of calling it. Yeah, that was the idea of calling it yesterday, yeah, to give them a better chance, yeah, for Boxing Day, yeah. Yeah, possibly. I think the other two more so.
Okay, I'll